Hi, I'm Wyatt, your local Skyline forecaster. If you ask any Oahu resident, what's the worst part of living on Oahu? You're bound to get one of two responses. One is the price of, well, everything, and two is the traffic. Boy, I hate getting stuck in traffic. If only there was some kind of elevated passenger rail that could carry people over the traffic. If we have the Honolulu Skyline, why do we still have traffic? Wasn't the Skyline supposed to fix traffic? Will it ever fix traffic? Did you know that in 2012, Honolulu was ranked worst city in the nation for traffic congestion? I mean, since then, other cities have taken the #1 spot by being worse somehow. Regardless, Oahu's traffic is infamously bad. In fact, the Honolulu Skyline was built in no small part to address community concerns over traffic congestion. Trains don't have to worry about rush hour traffic or reckless drivers or car crashes or anything like that. Plus, one train can move, say, 50 people way more efficiently than 50 cars on the road can. So by building a railroad full of passenger trains, we can give people a safe and efficient way to get around and remove cars from the roads, easing traffic congestion. As always though, it's a little more complicated in practice. On one hand, I found a study on a light rail transit system in Hamilton, Ontario that found that, quote, as an integral component of transportation planning, commute trip reduction, smart growth policy, and parking management, light rail transit may be able to reduce total vehicle use by 18 to 58%, end quote. Okay, that seems pretty promising. But on the other hand, I found a different study, this time on a light rail system in Denver, Colorado, that found that their rail system failed to decrease motor traffic at all after it was built, with roads near rail lines seeing a 31% increase in motor traffic from 1992 to 2008. However, all the other roads not near the rail saw a 41% increase in the same time frame. So while their rail did not decrease traffic, it did help slow down the growth of new traffic over time. Only time will tell if Skyline ends up on the Hamilton side or the Denver side of fixing our traffic. Okay, that's a little more disheartening. But remember, this all hinges on people actually riding the rail in the first place. It's no secret that Skyline's had a lot of trouble attracting ridership in its first year of service. I've personally observed this as a rider myself. Of course, Skyline is still only operating in its first of 3 segments. Segment number 2 is set to bring the rail to Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, as well as Kalihi Transit Center. With Waipahu Transit Center already on the rail, Kalihi's bus routes and Waipahu's bus routes will be linked for the first time through Skyline. That's going to be coming up as soon as next year, so soon we'll get to see just how much that boosts Skyline's ridership. Segment 3 will go even further, literally, by bringing Skyline all the way downtown, reaching major destinations like Honolulu Community College, Chinatown, and the Capital District. That's not going to be until the 2030s though, so it'll take a while before we can see how that affects Skyline's ridership. Ultimately, I feel like I really can't say for sure just how effective Skyline will be at alleviating traffic congestion. And I know that's not really a satisfying answer, especially since, traffic is the whole reason we built the Skyline in the first place. Will Segment 2 attract more people to the rail? Or Segment 3? This outcome, along with pretty much everything with the Skyline, will all come down to ridership, obviously. Now, despite its disappointingly low numbers, Skyline's ridership has been steadily increasing, even without Segments 2 and 3 being open. September 2024 saw the Skyline surpass 100,000 monthly riders for the first time since its opening, and hit those numbers again in October. In fact, I'd actually written a whole section for this video where I'd sit on the train and lament about how empty it was, with all the open seats and free standing room. This was based on my own experience riding on many empty Skyline trains in the past. But over the course of filming this series, I've actually had a surprising amount of trouble finding empty trains to record myself in. In fact, nearly every shot you've seen of me on a train so far has required me to sit almost all the way in the back, with my camera deliberately turned to sort of face the wall, on a train that is very likely going in the opposite direction of rush hour traffic. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Aside from a few notable exceptions, I'm not sure I would have described most of those trains as crowded necessarily, but it's still a sign of improvement, I think. In the meantime, the best I can say is consider riding the rail sometimes. I mean, if you're going somewhere that's near a Skyline station, and you know there's going to be a lot of traffic between you and your destination, consider instead driving to one of these park and ride stations. They've got these big, glorious parking lots. Then you can just get on the train, glide over all the traffic to your destination, then glide all the way back, and then you can just, drive the rest of the way home instead of waiting for a bus. Traffic has been an inevitable part of life on Oahu for many decades now. If you want to get around, sitting through traffic is often your only option. But even if the traffic is here to stay, it won't be your only option for much longer. Anyway, I've been Wyatt, your local Skyline forecaster, reminding you to get over it. Even if it takes you $10 billion and hundreds of concrete pillars and perhaps significantly more time than you might have originally estimated, you will overcome. It'll all be beneath you soon. Aloha!